In the turbulent 1990s in Punjab, India, a quiet bank manager named Jaswant Singh Khalra emerged as an unlikely champion for human rights. The region was gripped by intense conflict, where militancy and counterinsurgency operations created a landscape defined by fear and deep, lasting uncertainty. Countless families were left in a state of perpetual agony, searching for loved ones who had simply vanished after being taken into police custody. While the world outside seemed to move on, thousands of parents, wives, and children were left asking one haunting, impossible question: where is my father? Many of these families never received an answer, as the authorities maintained a wall of silence that seemed impenetrable to the average citizen. While fear silenced many, Khalra refused to accept this pervasive atmosphere of dread, choosing instead to begin a meticulous and dangerous personal investigation. He was not a politician, a judge, or a police officer, but a man who believed that every human life possessed inherent, undeniable value. Driven by this conviction, he began his work by visiting local cremation grounds, searching for any trace of the people who had gone missing. He spent his days carefully cross-referencing dusty municipal records with the growing stack of desperate missing person reports he had personally collected from families. Piece by piece, page by page, he began to build a picture of a reality that the authorities were working hard to keep hidden. What he uncovered was a harrowing, systematic reality. Thousands of unidentified bodies had been secretly cremated, completely bypassing all established legal procedures. These were not just numbers on a page, they were human beings, and Khalra knew that their families deserved to know the truth. Khalra did not rely on empty rhetoric or emotional outbursts. He relied on cold, hard evidence, transforming himself into a beacon for those who had lost hope. He meticulously organized registers, death records, and cremation logs, believing that these government documents would speak much louder than any accusation could. As his research expanded, he realized the scale of the tragedy was far greater than anyone had initially dared to imagine or publicly acknowledge. He took his findings to international platforms, bravely demanding accountability and basic human dignity for the thousands of victims of these secret cremations. His message was simple yet powerful. If innocent people had disappeared and were cremated, then every grieving family deserved to receive the truth. His work attracted worldwide attention, intensifying calls for independent investigations into the alleged human rights abuses that had plagued the state of Punjab. However, his relentless pursuit of the truth made him a primary target for powerful enemies who were desperate to keep their dark secrets buried. This set the stage for a tragic, inevitable confrontation between a man armed only with files and a system determined to silence him. On the 6th of September 1995, the man who had spent years searching for the disappeared was himself forcibly taken from outside his home in Amritsar. After that moment, silence descended once again, as his family searched desperately and supporters demanded answers from an administration that denied everything. Weeks turned into months, and months turned into years, as the irony of his disappearance became a painful symbol of the struggle he led. For years, his family fought an uphill legal battle, facing constant delays, denials, and systemic obstacles designed to protect those responsible for his abduction. Eventually, evidence established that Khalra had been murdered, leading to the prosecution of several police officials who were involved in the heinous crime. The convictions represented an important legal milestone, proving that even in the face of immense power, the truth could eventually find a way out. Yet, these legal victories could never restore a husband to his wife, a father to his children, or erase the years of profound grief. Justice had finally arrived, but for those who loved him, it felt like it had arrived far too late to mend the broken lives. His story is not only about one man's courage, it is also a stark reminder of the institutional failure that occurs when accountability is ignored. His work raised difficult questions about transparency and the protection of human rights, themes that remain critically relevant in any modern, functioning democracy. Many observers have argued that the systems intended to protect citizens failed to respond adequately, allowing fear and secrecy to persist for far too long. His story continues to be discussed as a vital reminder of why independent investigations and the rule of law are essential for society. Although Jaswant Singh Khalra never sought fame, his legacy traveled far beyond the borders of Punjab, touching hearts and minds across the entire globe. Today, his name is remembered not only in India but also by communities around the world who value the pursuit of justice and truth. In Fresno, California, a public park bears his name, serving as a lasting tribute to his unwavering commitment to human dignity and rights. For many visitors, the park symbolizes remembrance and courage, proving that speaking the truth can leave a lasting impact across many different generations. It stands as a testament that one person's determination can inspire people far beyond the place where that difficult struggle first began. More than 3 decades after his death, Khalra's life has reached new audiences through the medium of cinema, bringing his story to light. In 2026, Diljit Dosanjh portrayed Jaswant Singh Khalra in the film Satluj, directed by Honey Trehan, which explored his investigation into illegal cremations. The film follows Khalra's journey, detailing the events that ultimately led to his abduction and death, sparking widespread discussion about history and rights. After a prolonged certification process, the movie was released in 2026 and prompted a national conversation about freedom of expression and historical memory. Dosanjh has spoken about the emotional weight of portraying Khalra, noting that the role stayed with him long after the filming had finally ended. Director Honey Trehan shared that Dosanjh committed to the project immediately after learning about the depth and importance of Khalra's incredible life story. Jaswant Singh Khalra never carried a weapon. He carried files, evidence, and the names of those who were no longer able to speak. He believed that every missing person deserved to be remembered, and that families deserved the closure that only the truth could provide them. He believed that truth should never be buried alongside the dead, and he acted on that belief with a courage that remains truly unmatched. His courage continues to inspire lawyers, journalists, and human rights defenders who believe that justice begins with asking the most difficult, necessary questions. Some heroes win battles on the field, while others change history simply by refusing to look away when things become too uncomfortable. Jaswant Singh Khalra belonged to the second kind, and because of that, his voice still echoes through courtrooms, history books, and public memorials. His life reminds us that truth can be delayed, challenged, and even silenced for a time, but it is remarkably difficult to erase forever. The legacy of his work serves as a foundation for those who continue to fight for transparency in the face of systemic corruption. By documenting the undocumented, he ensured that the victims of the 1990s would not be forgotten by the pages of history or society. His sacrifice highlights the heavy price that is often paid by those who dare to challenge the status quo in the name of justice. We see his influence in the way modern activists approach their own investigations, using his methods as a blueprint for seeking the truth. His story is a call to action for anyone who believes that the protection of human rights is the duty of every single citizen. As we reflect on his life, we are reminded that the fight for justice is a marathon, not a sprint, requiring immense patience. His commitment to the truth remains a beacon of hope for families who are still waiting for answers in conflicts across the entire world. We hope this video has helped you understand the profound impact of a man who refused to let the dead be forgotten. If you found this story important, please subscribe to our channel and let us know in the comments what country you are watching from. Thank you for joining us in remembering Jaswant Singh Khalra, a man whose life reminds us that the truth will always find a way. On the 6th of September 1995, the man who had become the voice for the missing suddenly vanished himself, abducted into the shadows. Witnesses saw Jaswant Singh Khalra being taken by force from his home in Amritsar, marking a dark turn in his investigation. After that fateful day, a chilling silence descended, as authorities initially denied any knowledge of his whereabouts or his sudden disappearance. His family was left in a state of agonizing uncertainty, searching desperately for the man who had dedicated his life to finding others. Weeks of frantic searching slowly turned into months of despair, and eventually into years of a long, painful, and uncertain waiting period. The man who had spent years meticulously searching for the disappeared had himself become one of the missing, a cruel and bitter irony. His disappearance was not the end of his mission, but rather the beginning of a long, agonizing, and historic legal battle for truth. For years, his family and dedicated supporters refused to let his name fade, fighting through the courts to uncover the dark truth. They faced constant delays, official denials, and significant institutional obstacles, yet they remained steadfast in their quest for real accountability. Every court hearing was a battleground where the memory of Khalra was kept alive against those who wanted his work buried forever. Their persistence eventually pierced the wall of silence, leading to the landmark conviction of several high-ranking police officials involved in his abduction. The legal proceedings were grueling, but they finally established the truth about what happened to the man who dared to speak out. These convictions represented a historic milestone in the Indian justice system, proving that even the most powerful could be held to account. While these legal milestones provided a measure of justice for the family, they could never truly restore the lives that were stolen. A husband could not return to his wife, and a father could not return to his children, regardless of the court's final verdict. Justice had finally arrived, but for those who loved him, it felt like it had arrived far too late to heal their wounds. The case highlighted a failure that went beyond one single crime, exposing deep flaws in the systems meant to protect the citizens. Khalra's work raised difficult questions about accountability and transparency that the government and the police were forced to finally confront head-on. Many observers have since argued that the systems failed to respond adequately when families first reported their loved ones as missing persons. This institutional failure allowed fear and secrecy to persist for years, creating a climate where the truth was hidden in plain sight. His story continues to be discussed as a vital reminder of why independent investigations and the rule of law are essential. Today, Khalra's legacy transcends borders, standing as a global symbol of courage, remembered in places as far as Fresno, California. In that American city, a public park bears his name, serving as a permanent tribute to his commitment to justice and dignity. For many visitors, the park symbolizes remembrance and the belief that speaking the truth can leave a lasting impact across many generations. It stands as a testament that one person's determination can inspire people far beyond the place where that difficult struggle began. More than 3 decades after his death, Khalra's life has reached new audiences through the power of modern cinema and storytelling. In 2026, the film Satluj brought his life to the screen, with Diljit Dosanjh portraying the man who refused to be silent. Directed by Honey Trahan, the film follows Khalra's investigation into illegal cremations and the events leading to his tragic, forced abduction. After a prolonged and intense certification process, the movie was finally released, sparking widespread discussion about history and human rights. Dosanjh has spoken openly about the emotional weight of the role, noting that the experience stayed with him long after filming ended. Director Honey Trahan shared that Dosanjh committed to the project immediately after learning the full scope of Khalra's incredible, tragic story. The film has helped cement his story, introducing his sacrifice and his unwavering integrity to an entirely new generation of viewers. Jaswant Singh Khalra never carried a weapon, but he carried files, evidence, and the names of those who could no longer speak. He believed every missing person deserved to be remembered, and that no family should ever have to live without an honest answer. He believed that the truth should never be buried alongside the dead, no matter how uncomfortable that truth might be for others. His courage continues to inspire lawyers, journalists, and human rights defenders who believe that justice begins with asking the hardest questions. Some heroes win battles on the field, but others change history simply by refusing to look away when things get difficult. Jaswant Singh Khalra belonged to that second kind of hero, the kind whose actions ripple through time to change the world. And because of that unwavering resolve, his voice still echoes through courtrooms, history books, and the hearts of those seeking justice. His life reminds us that truth can be delayed, it can be challenged, and it can even be silenced for a time. But it is remarkably difficult to erase the truth forever, especially when someone is willing to stand up and fight for it. The legacy of Jaswant Singh Khalra serves as a beacon for anyone who believes that human life has an inherent, sacred value. He showed us that even in the darkest times, one individual can hold a mirror up to a society and demand change. His investigation into the cremation grounds of Punjab remains one of the most significant human rights inquiries in modern Indian history. By documenting the undocumented, he forced the world to acknowledge the reality of the thousands who had been lost to violence. The records he gathered became the foundation for a movement that sought to restore dignity to those who were denied it. Even when he was taken, his files remained, acting as a silent witness that would eventually speak volumes in the halls of justice. The impact of his work is not measured in years, but in the enduring hope he provided to families who had lost everything. His story is a masterclass in the power of documentation, showing how paper and ink can become tools for profound social change. As we look back, we see a man who chose the path of the truth, knowing full well the dangers that lay ahead. He did not seek fame or accolades. He only sought the truth, and in doing so, he became a legend of justice. His life is a reminder that the fight for human rights is never truly over, but it is always worth the effort. We must continue to ask the questions he asked, ensuring that the stories of the missing are never forgotten by history. His memory lives on in the activists who carry his torch, working to ensure that transparency remains a cornerstone of democracy. Every time his name is spoken, it is a victory against the silence that once threatened to swallow his entire life's work. Let us honor his memory by remaining vigilant, by questioning authority, and by always standing up for the rights of others. The journey of Jaswant Singh Khalra is a testament to the human spirit's capacity for bravery in the face of overwhelming odds. His life remains a powerful lesson for us all, proving that one person can indeed make a difference in this world. Thank you for watching this deep dive into the life of a man who refused to let the dead be forgotten. Please subscribe to our channel and comment below to let us know which country you are watching this story from today.